Hey guys, it's Sean here. I'm back at Saving Scales Reptile Rescue in Michigan. Today I'm going to talk to you about Savannah monitors. Now, Savannah monitors are a very cool monitor lizard that lives in sub-Saharan Africa. This means that they like very dry and very warm environments. Not quite in the desert though. They aren't very well equipped for that. But they do enjoy savanna, grassland, and woodland, just not tropical forest. Now this is what we would consider a small to medium-sized lizard. This one that I'm holding right now is a juvenile. So he's not exactly that big, but by the time this guy's an adult, he could reach upwards of 5 feet long and 12 pounds. That's pretty big for a lizard. Now these guys are strictly a carnivore, and their primary thing to eat are things like insects. So they'll go after beetles, they'll go after scorpions, and basically anything that they could possibly find because they're very opportunistic. Given the chance to get small mammals and birds, they will also eat those as well. Now, some of the cool things about this guy is you notice his patterning and his color. Lots of beiges, yellows, and grays. This is to help him to blend in with rocks and sand in the environment where he's from. Now, he also has very thick plating as far as scaling goes, and this is to protect him against potential predators. He also has a very thick head and thick skull that also help protect. You're okay. Hey. There we go. There we go. He's still a juvenile, so he's a little jumpy, and being that he's here at the reptile rescue, it means he came from a home that wasn't prepared for him. These monitors can seem very aggressive. They do have sharp nails. They do tail whip that hurts, and they can bite pretty hard. That deters a lot of people when they start trying to handle them, and then unfortunately they have to give them up to a rescue like Saving Scales. But the more you work with these guys, the better they get. They are a very intelligent lizard who get to know who their handlers are and the people in their family. They also are to the point that they can figure out shapes and colors, so they can be target trained. They can be station trained. They start to recognize patterns within their environment. In fact, lab tests show that these guys are very smart, up there with small dogs or even some of the lesser parrots. So reptiles often get a reputation as being slow and stupid, but really, these guys are very smart and very well acclimated, and they can figure things out in their environment, which makes them one of my favorite ones to work with. In all actuality, the first larger reptile I ever worked with was an adult Savannah monitor, who unfortunately came in with a very bad attitude, and people never really handled him well. And it took a lot of work, almost every single day for about 6 to 7 months. But finally it got to the point where he was like a dog, and I could carry him around. He liked being pet. He would follow me around if I was just letting him walk about. So these guys can be acclimated very well and be a good pet. It just takes some work. And just like with any other reptile, you have to watch out for the sharp claws. You have to watch out for the strong tail. And of course you have to watch out for that strong bite. Now, when these guys get defensive, there's a couple different things that they can do. As mentioned, the strong tail for tail whipping, the sharp claws, which they primarily use for digging, but they can use in defense, and the strong jaw. But what they really do is they flare up their neck very large and then turn themselves sideways like this to make themselves appear larger. When they do that, they look 2 to 3 times the size of what they were looking head on, and this is to intimidate any other monitors or potential predators. In the most extreme cases, they'll actually play dead, but that doesn't happen very often. With most monitors, including these guys, if they do feel that type of threatened and they're tail whipping and hissing, they'll sometimes lunge forward with their mouth open to look even bigger. And once that scares a predator, then they'll take off running. With these guys, they don't really like being up in trees. The smaller ones can climb, but the medium-sized ones and the larger ones, they actually like to burrow, and they'll have a series of burrows that they live down in. So once a predator comes near him, or if he feels threatened, he'll tail whip, he'll hiss, he'll make his neck bigger, and he'll sometimes lunge forward, and then he'll take off and go down into his burrow and hide. And then he'll just stay there to however long he needs to. Now, as I mentioned, they're from the savannah, and they like really warm temperatures, so that means that this guy can actually handle temperatures over 100 degrees, sometimes up to about 110 or so. And deserts actually get pretty cold at night, and savannas do as well, so they can handle temperatures down into about the 40s or so. Ideally, you want to keep them higher than that, and especially when you have them in captivity, there's no need to constantly lower the temperatures or raise them up. But we do like to give them lots of UVB radiation, which is necessary for reptiles to process calcium. and also try to get them natural sunlight when we can. So sometimes we'll build outdoor enclosures and let them go out in the sun during the summertime. And we always make sure that they have ample heat. So I hope you guys learned a little something about monitors today. And I'll give you a closer look at this guy. We'll see if we'll close his eyes by rubbing his head. There we go. And calms down a little bit. And we'll take a good look at that patterning again. All right, want to say goodnight, big guy? You like looking at your stuff on the camera, don't you? Who's that handsome lizard? Who is that handsome lizard looking at you? Yeah. All right. Have a good night, everybody.